Hey there, fellow learners. Ever feel like you're stuffing your brain with information, only to have it vanish come exam time? You're not alone. Our brains are funny like that. They need a little more than just passively absorbing information. They crave engagement, interaction, and a good mental workout. That's where active recall swoops in to save the day. Imagine your brain as a muscle. Just like lifting weights strengthens your biceps, active recall strengthens your neural pathways, making it easier to retrieve information when you need it most. It's like installing a super-fast internet connection for your memories. But what exactly is this magical study technique, you ask? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive into the exciting world of active recall and discover how it can revolutionize the way you learn. Ready to unlock your brain's full potential? Let's go! Active recall is a study technique that involves actively retrieving information from your memory instead of passively rereading it. It's about putting your brain to work and forcing it to make connections. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to remember your best friend's phone number. You could stare at it written down 100 times, or you could try dialing it from memory. Which method do you think will help you remember it better? That's right, actively recalling the number strengthens the neural pathways associated with that memory, making it stickier and easier to access in the future. Active recall works because it forces your brain to do the heavy lifting. When you actively try to recall information, your brain has to work harder to retrieve it from your long-term memory. This effort strengthens the connections in your brain, making it easier to recall the information later. Now you might be thinking, okay, that sounds great, but does it really work? The answer, my friends, is a resounding yes. Countless studies have shown that active recall is one of the most effective study methods out there. In fact, one study found that students who used active recall remembered 75% of the material they studied, compared to only 30% for students who just reread their notes. That's a massive difference. It's like the difference between trying to climb a mountain with a sturdy rope and trying to climb it with a wet noodle. Active recall is the sturdy rope that will guide you to the summit of success. These studies prove that active recall isn't just some fancy study fad, it's a scientifically proven method for boosting your memory and acing your exams. So, how does active recall compare to other study methods, you ask? Let's have a look at how it stacks up against its arch-nemesis passive review. Passive review includes methods like highlighting, rereading notes, and simply staring at your textbook hoping the information will magically seep into your brain. While these methods might feel comforting, they're actually not very effective. Think about it. When you passively review information, you're not really engaging with it. You're not forcing your brain to work, and as a result, the information is less likely to stick. Active recall, on the other hand, is all about active engagement. It's about forcing your brain to retrieve information, which strengthens the neural pathways and makes it easier to remember in the long run. It's time to ditch the passive study habits and embrace the power of active recall. Section 5. Active recall in action. Practical tips to supercharge your studies. Now that you're convinced of active recall's awesomeness, you're probably wondering how to actually use it in your studies. Well, fear not, my friend, because it's easier than you might think. Active recall is a powerful tool, and with a few simple strategies, you can make it a part of your daily study routine. Here are a few practical tips to get you started. The read, recite, review method. Read a section of your textbook or notes, then close the book and try to recall as much information as possible. This method forces you to actively engage with the material, making it easier to remember. Write down everything you can remember, then check your notes and fill in any gaps. This step helps reinforce what you've learned and highlights areas that need more attention. This simple technique is incredibly effective for cementing information in your long-term memory. Turn headings into questions. Transform your textbook headings and subheadings into questions. This approach encourages you to think critically about the material and engage with it on a deeper level. Then as you read the material, actively try to answer those questions. This will keep you engaged and help you retain information more effectively. This method not only makes studying more interactive, but also helps you identify key concepts and ideas. Teach it to someone else. One of the best ways to solidify your understanding of a topic is to teach it to someone else. This forces you to organize your thoughts and explain the material clearly. Pretend you're explaining the concept to a friend, a family member, or even your pet goldfish. This can be a fun and effective way to reinforce your learning. These are just a few examples of how you can incorporate active recall into your study routine. Experiment with different techniques and find what works best for you. The key is to find what works best for you and make it a consistent habit. With dedication and practice, you'll be able to supercharge your studies and achieve your academic goals. Section 6. Flashcards, your secret weapon for active recall. Flashcards are like the Swiss Army knives of active recall, versatile, effective, and always there to save the day. They can be used in a variety of ways to suit your learning style and needs. Whether you prefer physical flashcards or digital apps like Anki, they're an amazing tool for testing your knowledge and reinforcing your memory. The flexibility they offer makes them a favorite among students and professionals alike. Here's how to use flashcards for maximum active recall power. Start by creating your own flashcards, as the process of writing them helps reinforce the information. Keep it concise. Write a question or keyword on one side of the card and the answer or explanation on the other. This helps in focusing on the key points without overwhelming yourself. Avoid cramming too much information onto a single card. Overloading a card can make it harder to recall the information effectively. Active recall is key. When reviewing a flashcard, don't just passively read the answer. Engage with the material actively. Force yourself to recall the information from memory before flipping the card over. This strengthens your memory and understanding. Spaced repetition for the win. Use a spaced repetition system to review your flashcards at increasing intervals. This method is scientifically proven to enhance long-term retention. This will help you move information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. Consistent practice with spaced repetition can make a huge difference. With a little practice, flashcards can become your secret weapon for conquering any subject. So, start today and unlock the full potential of active recall. Section 7. Spaced repetition. Supercharging active recall for long-term retention. Remember that super fast internet connection for your memories we talked about earlier? Imagine having the ability to access your memories as quickly and efficiently as you can browse the web. Well, spaced repetition is like upgrading to fiber optic. It's a game changer for your brain's ability to retain information. Spaced repetition is a learning technique that involves reviewing information at increasing intervals. This method leverages the brain's natural ability to strengthen memories over time. This helps to combat the forgetting curve and ensures that information stays fresh in your mind. The more you review, the less likely you are to forget. When you first learn something new, it's easy to forget it quickly. This is because your brain is still processing and organizing the new information. But if you review the information again soon after learning it, you reinforce the memory and make it stronger. And then again, at increasingly longer intervals, you give your brain the chance to solidify the information. You'll be able to retain it for much longer. This method turns short-term memories into long-term knowledge. Think of it like watering a plant. Just as plants need regular watering to grow, your brain needs regular review to retain information. If you water it every day, it will thrive. Consistent care leads to a flourishing garden, but if you only water it once a month, the plant will struggle to survive. It's likely to wither and die. Neglecting your memory has the same effect. The same goes for your memory. Regular watering with spaced repetition will keep your knowledge blooming. Your mind will be like a well-tended garden, full of vibrant and lasting memories. By combining active recall with spaced repetition, you create a powerful learning synergy that maximizes retention. You create a powerful learning synergy. This combination leverages the strengths of both techniques that will help you achieve your academic goals. With these tools, you can master any subject and excel in your studies. Section 8. Embrace the challenge. Active recall for deeper understanding. Active recall isn't just about memorizing facts and figures. It's about developing a deeper understanding of the material. When you actively engage with information, you're forced to think critically, make connections, and apply what you've learned. Remember those challenging exam questions that require you to analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information? Active recall can help you tackle those head-on. By forcing your brain to retrieve and apply information in different contexts, you're building the critical thinking skills necessary to ace those tough exams. So embrace the challenge of active recall. Don't be afraid to test yourself, make mistakes, and learn from your errors. It's all part of the process of strengthening your memory and deepening your understanding. Remember, the goal isn't just to memorize information, it's to truly understand it and be able to use it in meaningful ways. Section 9. Level up your learning, the active recall advantage. Congratulations, my friend. You've reached the end of this crash course on active recall. You're now armed with the knowledge and tools to revolutionize the way you learn. Remember, active recall is far more effective than passive review methods. It strengthens your neural pathways and makes it easier to retrieve information. Techniques like flashcards and spaced repetition can supercharge your active recall efforts. Active recall helps you develop a deeper understanding of the material. So what are you waiting for? It's time to ditch those old, ineffective study habits and embrace the power of active recall. Start implementing these techniques today and watch your learning soar to new heights. You've got this!